One more lap.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Can anybody really say?
There's the checker flag.
Gary missed a smart in 3 and 4 there. If we can call it 3 and 4. There's a little controversy about how many corners there actually are at Pocono. Pocono Raceway. It's basically a triangle, but the first curve you hit after the stripe is considered turn 1 and 2. Turn 3 is called the tunnel turn. It's really shallow. It's almost not a turn. It's more of a dog leg, but they call it turn 3. Turn 4, and sometimes called turns 4 and 5, represent the third and final kink in the triangle, but what's interesting about turns 4 and 5 is turn 5 really represents the turn off of the track onto pit road. So you don't drive on turn 5 unless it's time to pit, traditionally. iRacing does things a little bit different, because of wonkiness of how they calculate the safety rating. Anyways, welcome back, everybody. It's Monday Night Racing. I'm going to be out of the box for Gary Sexton. I do have the camera off because I'm going to be half off the camera. I'm going to be leaning over onto my work computer as I do this because there's stuff going on there too. At least to some extent. I'm going to try to get some work done during cautions. Expect a long green. This is the type of track that tends to go long green, stretch out. It's kind of a tire management / draft management affair. It's a neat track.
Pocono.
In a very technical way. I'll let you listen.
Zero fast repairs, fuel limit 35%. You got 4 tires on the box, 1 on your car. If you don't have 1 on your car, then I want to get that fixed. Pitch car speed 35, pit road 55. Remember, restart zone is in effect. If you're the outside starting and you get a black flag, let us know. We'll take a look and get it cleared if you did not jump the start. Remember, don't change the lanes before the start-finish line. I know there's like 70,000 lanes out on that front stretch, but don't use any of the other ones until you cross that start-finish line. Otherwise, that will be a pass-through penalty, and I won't really care to hear you complain about it because you're the one who did it. If there is a wreck or a checkup in front of you, I will take that into consideration. But if there isn't, that sucks. I'm sorry. As far as everything else goes, good luck, have fun, and just be respectful of the playoff drivers around you. Good speech.
Hey, Josh. I say a lot of things about you. Go fucking burn.
Chat ban. As far as I'm concerned, there's one car that isn't a 49er car out there anymore.
Now, just one last little radio check for you. You think you're going to hear me over the engines, or do you want to wait till you're rolling to find that out?
Yeah, shame.
Okay, sounds good. And to confirm, that is an Eagles paint scheme, so I got your paint scheme right for the stream. Okay. For number 13 tonight, I see. Yeah, it wobbled around a little bit. I kind of like you being 13.
It's the 26 car. It's the 17 car.
Let me see. I've got Gary muted so I can talk to chat. Welcome, everybody. Hello, Robin. Hi. JMC 989. Thank you for the well wishes for Gary. Do you want to see the cockpit view of all this? That's his stream. I believe he's streaming because I heard him say something to the effect of "Hi there" or something to someone. I'm assuming he's streaming. Even if he's not, go over there and give him a follow. We have live telemetry data, a feature of the RacePal.live overlay. You can see kind of in the bottom, it's kind of a makeshift McLaren dash display that shows some of the interesting facts. Nowadays we don't tape grills, so temperature doesn't really matter here, but the FEND means fuel endurance. That's going to tell you, based on his last complete lap, how many laps he goes until he's out of gas. So if the endurance says 12.6 laps, he's not going to make it to lap 13. So he's got to pit on the lap 12. So
All right, man.
I have more detailed data than that, but that's just going to help you spectate. So they're going green.
Got one inside. Say hi. Clear low, clear low.
Gary, do you want me on the call, or do you want me to just kind of let the computer spot?
All clear, all clear.
Okay, dokie.
Inside. Say hi. Clear low, clear low. Got one inside. You're up top 3 wide. Got one inside. 2 wide there. Say hi. All clear, all clear. Got one inside. Say hi.
Flow on the high side. Careful of it.
Still there.
Nice save, Bailey.
Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Hold
Outside
your
front
line.
row, it restarted push.
Gary, my ears are kind of perked up for the keywords "go live." If you tell me "go live," then I'll take over for the spotter if you're under pressure. And I'll do it on @team and then mute the Discord. This track produces such good racing with this car.
Got one inside.
All right. Yeah, I'm kind of
Say
doing the
hi.
same.
Still
Keep
there.
her high, keep her high.
Clear low, clear low.
Okay, I'm not on a live call, guys.
You're on the bottom 3 wide. Outside.
Unless Gary gets into trouble and calls for me to go live. For the meantime, I'm going to be watching very carefully the telemetry data. He just burned 0.504 gallons that last lap, which is identical to his qual lap. To the 1,000th of a gallon. And the overlay actually takes a snapshot of your fuel level accurate to 1,000th of a gallon 60 times per second. Yeah, Gary's good for 26.2 laps from where he stands on the track right now. He's burning 0.504 gallons a lap. Basically, you can think of it as a half a gallon per lap here. That's a safe number to use.
Got a little behind on my steering.
He had to,
My bad.
and yeah, the draft is huge here, just like at a plate track.
Got
You're
one
good. I got you
outside.
right there.
Stay low. There's a car on the high side.
You might hear me say some things that may seem like they're not directed at chat, but that's because, well, I'm talking to Gary. I'm letting the computer do the inside-outside call. Unless he gets in trouble, if he tells me to go live, then I'll take over and go live, and you'll hear that. But oh my God, 41, is that stall necked?
Still there.
Yeah.
All clear, all clear.
That's real racing. You're supposed to get close, but on iRacing it sends your ass up the hill. So you got to be kind of careful of it. This is where I get loose out of turn, what I would call turn 4. Turn 5 is kind of a meme. It's, to me, it's honest to God. Some people think, say that Pocono has 5 turns. Now, when you think of turns in NASCAR, on iRacing in particular, there might be one curve at the end, each end of a track, but the way that you drive the car in your entry is entirely unique from how you drive your car off the corner. So it involves 2 very unique driving maneuvers to get through one end of the track. So that's why iRacing considers it 2 turns. Right now, we're watching Gary come up to what I would call turn 4. It has a very unique entry and a very unique exit. And this is a vital exit at Pocono because look how long this straight is. This is a good view of it right here. You want to carry your speed down the straight, but because this is a draft track, it really doesn't matter unless you're the car in front. If you're the car in front, you don't want to go back 5-6 positions, you better not gaff your turn 4.
Stay low. Stay low, there's a car on the high side. All clear, all clear.
Yeah, a little bit ago, we almost got the guy behind you. He sent him up the hill. When I was new to iRacing, this was a hard track to learn. It was deceptively easy looking, but this is actually a very tricky track.
You got one inside. Still there? Hold your line. Stay high. Still there. All clear, all clear.
Ooh, 55 almost put 86 into the wall. Is Chase Cabre driving a 55 scheme? Okay. Oh, that's right. Okay, I see. He is 39. He's coming up to you. Wow, the leaders have checked out. The reason being, 3rd and 4th there, they're Adam and Bailey and Presley. Yeah, with Presley in there, Presley's got a little something to prove, So that little threesome up there is really fighting.
Take here. Take.
Wait till some heat gets in those tires and lifts that diffuser off the ground a bit. New ball game.
Stay low, there's a car on the high side. Still there? Hold your line.
It depends how the setup is built, though. Who built the setup this week?
All
Oh,
clear,
okay.
all clear. Inside.
It's looking really good. Nobody's having serious control problems, and it's
On the low side. Stay high.
looking like a little rotation on power.
Stay high.
Oh my goodness, I love how this track races.
Got one outside. Still there. Still there. All clear, all clear.
All right, I'll mute Gary a minute. Let's go back and look at chat. What's chat saying? Ah, chat's quiet. Chat's as quiet as I am. Not. So, it's looking like 20 laps at the stripe.
You dig it, man. You're in top 10.
Yeah, I can save it from the garage. What was your starting point? Baseline or? Yeah, that's what I usually do. Or I use Buster's Corner if they've got one out. Their setups are really very good. They've got a good mix of competent engineers and capable test drivers, so they end up with something pretty decent every week. It's a huge crowdsource effort. It's not just that, but this track is very plate-like. When you're in that clean air, there's a lot more drag at those higher speeds. Because of the generally flat banking, they have to slow down a lot for the corners.
No longer a mid-off.
Way more than you would have to at a traditional 1.5 miles that has more banking.
Got one outside. Stay low. Stay
That's a
low.
good pass setup. Oh, get in there.
Stay low. There's a car on the high side. Stay low.
Sorry, DJ.
That was bold, son.
Go for it.
Well, you might have to tuck back in behind him if you want to keep the draft in the straight. Oh, you're going to get him here. Nope.
Still there. You're clear high. Clear high.
Yikes.
What are you doing back here, Nick?
Sorry, Fisher, you checked up way earlier.
I don't know, man. Colin looks pretty used up.
Yeah, you're good.
Got one outside. Stay low. All clear. All clear. Got one inside.
Colin's coming.
All clear.
Mm-hmm.
All clear.
I missed the start because I wasn't paying attention.
Maybe a Ford tandem's with you here.
Oh, that's
Inside.
Oh, that's big time blocking. You got to let him go.
You cut down on me.
All clear. All
For
clear.
everybody
Got one
here,
inside. All clear. All clear. Got one inside.
Gary.
Still there. All clear. All clear.
At least he has a sense of humor. I'd have been pissed. Yeah, 4 lanes down, barely. This is true. It's only halfway. Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but that was funny.
Got one inside.
He's there now for sure.
Still there. Stay high. Stay high. Clear low. Clear low.
And everyone's dirt tracking off on exit. Keep the driver's stat clear, please.
That's what this track always does. Even with a fixed setup, which this is technically a fixed setup, right? Oh. Sage mistimed his dog leg there. The tunnel turn.
Got one outside. All clear, all clear. Inside.
Wow, with him on your tail, it's making you lose. Careful of that.
Stay high. Stay high. Clear low, clear low. Inside.
No, he's coming low.
Stay high. Still there. All clear, all clear. Inside.
Ooh, stay high.
Stay high. There's the car on the low side. All clear, all clear. Inside. Stay high. Clear low, clear low. Inside. All clear, all clear. Outside.
Yeah, this is where you pass, man. Good work.
On the high side. Stay low. All clear, all clear.
I think we might be able to go caution free, boys. This is going good.
Oh boy, he shouldn't have said it.
Trying to give your money away?
Yes.
Well, as long as the commentators don't say it. Oh, ouch. Well, we had one into the wall. That's why you don't hear an engine under my camera right now, chat. So
Take it.
it seems to me with this draft package, you lose the pole probably at about 0.7. It used to be you're good to well beyond 1.5. The Gen 6 certainly was.
Go high. Alright, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh.
Pit road is closed. Let the 20 car by.
But is this an automatic caution or not? Because it looked like he was... So they kind of gave that to him. He wasn't 45 degrees in my opinion. That's normally iRacing's criteria.
This is your weekly Monday Night Racing fun flag. Ford's not having fun, so we'll throw a yellow. I'm just kidding, Josh.
Oof.
That's not me.
At least he didn't wreck himself first.
David misses the next round, and all of a sudden he's human.
I know that was a single car, but that was a really good call throwing that caution. That could have been way bigger.
I think Sage wrecked him. David.
In this case, I think he might have had to have done that.
Prime Racing,
I'm going to go back and look at the replay.
Or Sage, it was really David's fault. You should find him. But I like the other way around.
All right, I'm going to
David, come past.
check your pit boxes here.
Hey, we got to catch the pace car. Mark.
You got 0 fast repairs, folks. Indeed.
Form that chat last
So-
week was very quiet, and we don't know what changed.
Full service.
Hi, Michael. Since you're asking the question, a single is a yellow when it's sitting in the middle of the racing circuit.
Phantom.
Hey Josh, is the one of three
Do they EOL for that? I didn't think so. They used to.
Do you fish?
It's 2, not 3.
That's what I just making sure.
All right. Good luck on the pit stop here.
Questions, but when you start just talking back and arguing with race control, it's pointless, and I don't really want to hear from you anymore.
That's something else. I'll be right back.
Pit road is now open.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Line up single file.
Can we get caught up here?
Why, you got somewhere to be?
No, I just don't want to be full gas in the tunnel turn when when it goes green next
86
time.
car.
He's going way faster than everybody. Isn't that an advantage?
I suppose you could leave that up for
All
interpretation.
right, man, we're going green next time by. All right, man, line up on the outside row now. Catch the 43 car.
Ronnie, did you stay out?
I pitted right before the caution lap.
They pitted that lap as the caution came out for the lap prior.
Oh, we got some real NASCAR road course strategy coming. I love it. We start pitting stages.
Worked for me last week.
When is
So far as I can tell, everybody got tires from what I can see.
4 Super Bowls. That's why.
not this
Right.
year?
Got a 3-lap deficit.
It's a Philly thing. They wouldn't understand.
Get ready.
Good luck on the restart, guys. We're going to be green flag racing here in a minute.
The pace car is in. Green, green, green.
Oh,
Inside.
he's tire saving already.
Still there. Hold your line. Stay high. You're up top 3 wide. Hold your line. Hold your line. You got 1 inside. You're 2 wide there. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. All clear, all clear. You got 1 inside. Stay high. All clear, all clear. You got 1 inside. Still there? Hold your line. Stay high. Stay high. All clear, all clear. Inside. Clear low, clear low.
Man, this Eagles paint looks terrific. I can tell by looking at it that Gary put a spec map on it. Somewhat matte. I think the white would have looked terrific with its own separate spec.
You got 1 inside. Stay high.
Go Bert.
I would have made it look more silvery, shiny.
Clear low. You got 1 inside.
This is one idea. You don't have to do that. It looks great like that, though.
Clear
Yeah,
low.
that 83 there wants to dive bomb him. He's going to kind of shut the door on him a bit here.
Stay high.
Kind of don't want him to get inside of you in the tunnel. I'm not talking to Gary, by the way. I'm just talking to you guys in chat because it's...
Stay high.
Yeah, that's where you can make their pass. In this case, he's not going to make it, but
Stay high.
Gary has to fight him off in a suboptimal line. But that right there, 83's done. With this car, once you scrub the rear tires like that, they're done. And they could be brand new tires, they're done.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
There's the caution
Pit road is
and the caution.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can figure out who done it. Here's a car down here
Lap 29.
in the ditch. Let's see what happened to Steve Ellis.
I was a big Kevin Harvick fan growing up.
Bell fans trying to side draft him, turned his ass. That's definitely going to be George.
I'm just saying, I did move up. I didn't think I was going to hit him, though.
Well, you did, and ended my race.
I think staying out's the play here. Only maybe 4 or 5 laps on green. Oh.
catch the 20.
This car is super susceptible to that because of what it does to the ride height and the diffuser.
Can you clear penalties when I get spun into the pits?
No.
Thanks, Paul.
Pit road is now open. Let the 25 car by. Pit road is closed.
Hitting.
What are you trying to tell the pace car so he doesn't hit you when he comes around? Leighton, how you gonna do with the rain-delayed class on next Monday? How you gonna race or what?
I ain't going to that, bud.
That's actually a great question because I'm gonna be at the Clash and I ain't gonna be home Sunday if it gets rain delayed.
No race control. Anarchy.
I mean, it's Southern California. If it rains all day, then, you know, they might that global cooling they was talking about might be real.
They already said they're gonna run rain tires.
And short track. I was gonna say they're prepped for that.
They're racing at Fontana, right? That's not a short track.
Is a Clash?
Yeah, like this weekend. The LA Clash, the only racetrack in LA is in Fontana. Unless we're going to Irwindale, which, by the way, I heard the inside lane at Irwindale is actually faster than the outside now.
Yeah, I don't know why. I watched the race this past week, and they were running the inside, and it was the trippiest thing
All
I've
right,
ever
man,
seen
we're
in my
going
life.
green next time by. All right, man.
I mean, that's
Line up
cool,
on
man.
the
Just
outside
fucking
row
interrupt
now.
me when I'm talking.
I think everybody wants to.
I'm agreeing. Ah.
Vargas, if you're going to interrupt him, I've found that the best way to get on his good side, if you're just going to interrupt him, is just start off with like "Fly Eagles Fly" or say something about the Eagles, and he'll be satisfied.
Yeah, something bird, yeah.
Hey Josh, when I win tonight and I do that, it's like, come on, I'm trying to talk. And I'm in victory lane doing that interview with.
I thought Colin just really liked Thanksgiving dinner.
Will you come in and sing "Fly Eagles Fly" with me?
Okay. Fisher's blinking just so you aware, everybody. I like 20th.
Justin, are you okay?
He's right, you know.
Get ready. Alright, man. Pace cars in. Green
Well, we're
flag.
going to go back to racing. Let's see how they start.
Got one inside.
Barry got a little bit of a jump there. He's got to give it up. They don't allow you to pass here before the start-finish line.
You're up top 3 wide. Hold your
It's just
line.
like starting at a traffic light at Pocono. Look at that. I see a 4 wide brewing. They're back in 3s.
Still there? Hold your line.
Gary can't hear me right now, Chad. I'm just kind of,
Stay high.
having built setups for this track and spotted lots of races here. The starts are kind of road-like, and they continue this way because the fact that this track has really flat corners. Oh.
Clear low. Alright, man.
That's
Caution is out.
going to be a yellow.
Your road is closed.
And that is why you don't pit at every opportunity. So, yeah. The tires are going to cool down here for Gary.
Just wrecked.
I got him muted again, chat. So,
Well, I said playoff implications.
yeah, they're always like this, JMC, which, it's a dual, it's a two-edged sword, because on the one hand, you probably don't really need to be all that chatty. But on the other hand, they're having fun. So,
What?
Colin Vern's like that in officials too. You can see he's got a 4.3-ish I rating.
I don't know. I think it's all right, but we'll figure out in the pit stop.
But the thing that I really like about him is Colin he's into iRacing for all the right reasons. He's just trying to have fun, so he behaves accordingly. Hey, appreciate the compliments, Red Devil.
I'm gonna get into you, but neither of us lifted. You know what I mean?
Hang on, they're talking pit strategy. I got to listen in for a sec.
Yeah, I had somebody putting it down in my passenger seat too. That didn't help either. I wouldn't have run you down as far as I did if I didn't have somebody running me down just as much.
Yeah, it's all good. I just don't want you to think that I'm trying to run up into you. That's all.
Yeah, I get it. You're good.
Pit road is now open.
I like to think none of this would have happened if we hadn't thrown a caution for a single car wreck.
Yeah, I don't think he didn't go all the way around, and he had it under control. It wasn't stopped or nothing. They, middle of this big long straight, they could have let Schildhouse's caution go easy. I mean, everybody had 18 lanes to get around him on each side, so why not? I wouldn't have thrown a caution personally.
I might have actually caught on.
Pit road is closed.
Everybody shut the speak over there, Mike.
But it's like Gary pointed out, Schildhouse was all but stopped. Once he had it under control, he didn't lift. He just kept it skidding straight.
Surprisingly well.
And I haven't heard him speak. That's why I'm saying I don't think it's him. And Bickford's in the back, so maybe
You're saving this car, man. It's just it's easy. Just put the wheel in the middle,
Mandatory
give it
webcam
50%
survey.
brake, 50% throttle, and it just drops itself right back into a slot, like a slot car.
Can't tell if
Easy.
being, serious or not, David. So I can park you if you'd like.
And as soon as you can see the end of your straight, you're pointed right, you know, and then you can let off the brake. But you can't add throttle yet. Tires are still a little hot for that, but 670 horse.
No, I can't tell. I have no semblance of being able to tell. I have no sense of humor at all. So, I mean, if you want me to park you, I can.
Park 'em.
You have to have a sense of humor, or else you wouldn't have been laughing when the 49ers choked the NFC Championship game away.
I know another pit strategy is stay out, which is good. That would be my call.
It would have been better than Josh Johnson. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, Red Devil, it's kind of the RacePal.live thing. I know I got a little bit of renown out there in the community for building setups, providing them to the community free of charge, and that's me, what I do as a hobby, but I'm a software engineer. So I wrote this software pretty much from scratch. The overlay you see in the top left is kind of that runs off of a different piece of software that I wrote for Podium Esports. They're using, believe it or not, almost the exact same software for the broadcast tonight at Podium Esports. Well, twitch.tv/Podium Esports. So this is the official broadcast. And the driver I'm spotting is Gary Sexton. He's Dirty Air 13 on Twitch. So there's a couple Twitch channels that you could check out. But Gary isn't running my overlay, even though he works for Podium. But in order for me to get his live telemetry data where I can actually see his temperatures, iRacing doesn't normally show you those. But he's running a program that sends that data to me in real time. And I wrote an overlay that looks like the McLaren Dash. But, of course, I cherry-picked the information that I want to show in that overlay. Stuff you don't normally see in an overlay. And I decided to do that because they, for example, water level and oil level, if you're involved in an accident, you can kind of predict if the car is going to blow up or not with the water and oil levels. If those oils are those levels are going down, the 10 quarts that you see, if either of those starts to go down, you got a leak, and eventually you're going to blow the engine up. So as a spotter crew chief, I like that information. And fuel pressure is nice because you can tell when you're about to really run out of gas. Once you get below, I'd say about a third of a gallon of gas, you'll start to lose fuel pressure. So that's something to keep an eye on. Besides, this gives you flat out the fuel level and the speed. NASCAR doesn't let the real drivers do it, but this is a game, so yeah, we need to know how fast we're going. So we've got the speed in there for you to see. I do have the computer spotter on Gary. Right now I'm mainly just crew chiefing for him and the team, and I hope he knows he's middle 3.
Hold your line.
He does. He's got triple monitors,
Hold your line.
which affords you a better view than the actual race car drivers get. For a truly immersive experience, you need to race this game on one monitor.
Too wide there.
Sorry, Alice. I thought
Still there.
I'll get.
You're clear high. Clear high. You got one outside. Still there. Hold your line.
And if I were Gary, he can't hear me, I got him muted, but
You're clear high.
there's no way on God's green earth I would go up there in front of George Bell fans, because George isn't malicious, but he also won't give up his momentum for you. He'll give you a bump, and you better be able to hang on to it. That's what's up with that.
You got one.
This car track combo, they got the aero model way over modeled with this car, which makes it fun.
Clear low. Clear
You
low.
can really play games with aero with this car. You can do that in real life too, naturally, but
Hold your line.
that takes a progression of laps to make it work, even at a big 2.5 mile track like this. But on iRacing, oh, he fooled him.
Stay high. There's a car on the low side.
He definitely fooled him. He wants to pull away on this straight with that arrow at the wall. I don't think he'll do it, though. It's a strategy I don't think works.
That was pretty good.
But it actually does set the table for having the high side out of 3. So coming through the tunnel turn like that, right now he's going to be able to fight him off pretty easy. Unless somebody up front steps out of line to give him the draft. Sybil's going back. See? Just like that. You have to be very strategic if you want to pass here, other than depending on the opposition to make a mistake.
We gotta get Michael Fisher off the track.
I'm on chat. You mean me? Okay. This is the 5 car, right? No visual damage at all. Either to the front or the right side. They made this car very tanky with one of the last few updates. Which is kind of ironic. When you consider it's... Yeah, that's very true too. But it's really getting at is the B car in iRacing. I mean, if you so much as scratch a decal on that thing, you're down friggin' 3 to 5 tenths at any size track. It's stupid.
Clear low, clear low.
Composite bodies just don't behave that way. And then he comes up and throws a block on you at the wall. Wow, Fern.
Clear low.
That was a Wayne Johnson-worthy block right there.
So yeah, I see you make your appearance, Mrs. Reaper. You and Mizzy girl. How's my kitty? She's such a sweet kitty cat. We love Mizzy in this household. She's so sweet. No, I did not see Heim, but he's ultra aggressive. He's still young enough to think he's immortal, so I could picture him risking a wreck, you know, to get a second/first place finish. I'm assuming it was wrecking for second, wasn't with first and second, not second and third. I'm going to put that link up in a tab so I can check it out in a bit. Appreciate the link, Red Devil.
Halfway this time by.
I'm glad Mizzy Girl's doing good. Is she in her spot? What is she up to? She probably just had tuna and now she's going to lick her paws. What just happened? Oh, I see it.
Clear low, clear low.
What a save.
I take back like 10% of the things I said about you.
Oh my god.
I can't decide what's better with this car. Saving tire for raw pace at the end, or saving tire so that you have a little headroom when you have to maneuver when other people lose their tires. 3 wide for the lead. They are stone cold crazy in this league. Right now, Gary has about 8 gallons in the tank. And he needs 19 gallons to finish. So, adding 11.4 gallons will get him to the end. But you don't race the next-gen car like that. Road racing, it's critical that you hit that gas mileage. You want to literally have the engine sputter and die as you cross the line with road. Those tires never get unserviceably hot the way they do in an oval race. So what makes the next-gen car unique from the trucks and the Xfinity Series cars, the B cars we know at iRacing, is that this car is inordinately sensitive to ride height, especially at the rear. Because that's where most of your downforce is now. The downforce of this car has been shifted from the front of the Gen 6 to the rear of the Gen 7, or what we call the next gen. And with that ride height in the rear being so important, the heating of the tires causes the air to expand with higher air pressure. That's your hot pressure in the rear. And the higher that hot pressure is in the rear, the higher the rear end rides off the ground. Consequently, you're raising the splitter away from the ground, and there's a sweet spot. If your splitter's too close to the ground, it isn't efficient. If it's too far from the ground, it isn't efficient. So there's a sweet spot. And when the engineers or the setup builders get that ride height at the rear set just yay so, that rear spoilers, or not spoiler, but that rear diffuser's giving you the best downforce in the rear, a little bit of ride height in the rear is going to throw a wrench in the works, literally.
Ellis going to be paid to replace an AI driver next year?
The effect is a quote-unquote loose car, but what's really happening is the back of the car just doesn't have enough downforce to, make it stick. Now, this is true in the real world, but it's even more true on iRacing, because like all things iRacing, these races are a lot shorter than the real world counterparts, and they want drivers to feel those effects, so they make those effects more acute. That's why the tiniest changes to ride height are going to absolutely demolish your lap times. It's not completely realistic. Yes, the effect is realistic, but the degree of the effect is not realistic on iRacing. It's kind of... Gary, am I to understand you're pitting in? All right.
I'm not actually pitting there. Sorry, it's the wrong button.
I'm glad I said something to him.
Stop and go penalty for line.
Front row, Raggy. So...
My brake bias is mapped to that.
Although we are in the fuel window. We only need to add 11.1 gallons to get to the end. And... well, can we fit 11.1 in right now? No, we're not in the window yet. I take that back. That would give us 17 gallons, and it takes only 15. It wouldn't be able to fit. See, Gary built the setup, so he's got a little bit of a long-run advantage here. I'm definitely seeing you getting into a groove here, Gary. That's how everybody feels at draft tracks. This isn't a plate track per se, so I'll call it a draft track. You always feel like, man, look how much faster I am. You know, they get the suck down these long straightaways, and then in their head it doesn't register that that's just because you got 5 cars in front of you.
You got one inside.
Now it's time to make Fern pay.
Still there? Hold your line.
Yeah, you're going to exit with the draft here. Take her on easy. Looking good. Fading.
All clear, all clear.
So that's good. I had to give Gary a little call there. I didn't want Gary to push too hard in that corner because I knew my driver might feel the urge to try to outrun the guy on his inside. What all he really needs to do is not scrub the exit and lose speed there, because that's a long straightaway coming out of turn 4. Or what would be, in iRacing terms, turn 3. Hey, guess who showed up? It's Yopa J. How you doing, Yopa? Man, I love Yopa's artwork.
Good save, Brett.
Yopa J's got some massive talent, man. It's just waiting to break out into the world right now. Oh, poor Brian. I get grouchy when I'm tired, too. You've seen it. Every night I stream, by the end of the stream, I'm an asshole. He just needs a little bit of cuddle time with Samson, with his kitten. His kitten will calm him down, just like your kitten calms you down. He's going to be just fine. Alright, so his fuel gauge has turned yellow. That helps me it catches my eye. I've got them at preset levels, not on a per lap basis, really.
Thank you, DJ.
Yeah, if you get your sleep schedule run amok. Mine, I'm a little worried about mine. I don't know what I'll do after this race. I might, shut the stream down for the night, and I got some work that has to be done tomorrow, and to make matters worse, not only do we have a tomorrow deadline, but I can't use tomorrow as an overflow day because I got a doctor's appointment at noon, so I need to get a full night's sleep tonight, so when I do get up tomorrow, I have time to get ready, drive to the doctor's office, and do it, get it done, get that over with. So everything that has to be done tomorrow has to be done literally after this race tonight. If I get it all done, I might come back, but I doubt it. It just depends if I can sleep or not. Sounds like they're Matt at Stallneck. Yeah, I got Gary going in on 57 at the latest. 56 would give you a little headroom for a pit lap. So I gave them, my information that I know about his fuel consumption. You guys can see it too. Below the fuel level, it says FEND. That means fuel endurance. You can look at it as 6.0 laps. He literally has to go in on the 6th lap here because he won't make it around to 7th. That fuel calculator is super accurate. I'm sorry to hear he's being a complete asshole. Everybody's entitled, I guess, once in a while. Hopefully he's not like that all the time. But man, your sleep gets messed up, man. Especially food. Here's a little pro tip for you.
Stay high. There's a car on the low.
Now his fuel is red. Yeah, Mrs. Reaper. He's got to learn. School him. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like that too. But, yeah, I was going to tell you my pro tip. Believe it or not, sugar consumption will exasperate your anger. Too much sugar, if I just eat a whole bunch of candy or cookies or just too many, I don't know, too many calories from sugar, too much sugar in the blood, that just sets me off. I have an ex-girlfriend whose parents, her dad is a big snorer, so and he moves around in his sleep a lot. And that's, sleep apnea probably. His body is stirring and he's always waking up, and you don't sleep through the night. You feel every discomfort, so it makes you roll around in bed a lot. And so what they did is they actually have 2 beds. The beds are right next to each other, but there's there's a space between the two beds, so that the movement of one bed doesn't shake the other, you know?
I don't know if you guys have enough fuel for 3 overtimes if you pit now.
So yeah, I don't have to worry about giving Gary a certain amount of fuel, because a next-gen car screws all that up for you. It's pointless.
Call it out.
1. Right here.
God, he was 81-81 on his first stint. 83-84 in the second. Gary built this setup and he aced it. What's actually a little bit confusing to me is why there's so much wear and heat in the left front. So...
Pitting this time, Reed.
honestly...
Did you about follow me into the wall there, David?
I'd take a pound out of the left front. Just looking, doing my, oh my goodness, 58.1 psi right front, 54.3 right rear. What are the cold pressures for this thing? 48, 45, which is very typical. That's realistic. In real NASCAR, they have about 3-4 pounds of extra tire pressure in the right front versus the right rear at almost every track. So,
thank you.
It's just something you have to do to tighten the damn thing up with the way that this frickin' car drives. The other thing about having extra tire pressure in the right front, or in any tire for that matter, any tire you put pressure into is going to make that tire more heat tolerant. However, it's going to reduce your mechanical grip. So you're going to lose mechanical grip in exchange for heat tolerance. So there's a balancing act between mechanical grip and heat tolerance.
47 pitting right now.
It's that simple.
The leader is pitting now.
Now with these pit cycles, they could wreck. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. A lot of people out there still need to pit, quite naturally. You'll notice his fuel endurance reads 0 right now. It doesn't have the correct data to tell you how many laps you can go on fuel. But that 0 laps of endurance will jump up after he crosses the stripe the first time. And his fuel endurance will be way more accurate after the second time because he'll have full pace and speed and momentum for the second lap out. That's going to give him 28 more laps. But he's got about 14 gallons and he's about 11 and a half. But he's got he's got a couple of gallons, couple 2.5 gallons of overhead. But again, if you pit for tires late run to handle green, white checkers and stuff, you're probably just going to want to take a full tank with the next gen car and get the weight in the back. The conventional thinking of putting weight in the back makes you lose, short fuel it to make it tighter and make it lighter and faster. That doesn't work with this car. Especially on iRacing, that overmodels the diffuser in the back. So you just, with this car, you just fill it up. You literally need a full tank, and then as your ride height increases later in the run, in the rear in particular, you're just going to have to slow it down for the corners. And be able to handle it. That's why everybody gets loose with this car late run. It's not that the chassis is loose. It's everybody blames it on the tires. Say, oh, my tires are scorched. It's not the tires. It's the diffuser's ride height. But it's also the tires too. That model is pretty badly broken.
All clear, all clear.
So yeah, I'm looking at the lap information.
Broadcast will go down as soon as I take the lead.
There are a lot of people out there with 29 laps on their tires. Some of these were caution laps, though, just a few. I'm guessing 31. Once they get 30, 31, 32 laps in, it's going to be more and more critical that they get down pit road. Get some stickers on them tires.
One coming pit out here.
Gary did a great job building this setup. He did a great job with this setup. It's just kind of loose enough to be drivable, but these people, with many of whom are really quite beginners on the iRacing service, they're hanging on.
Still there. Stay high. Still there.
Oh, what a mess he's in.
Still there. Stay high.
Well, I'd care about how he sleeps, because if he gets good sleep, he won't be an ass, you know? I'm grouchy as hell when I don't sleep right. Sometimes I can handle it a little bit, but at a certain point, it depends on what like I said, it depends on what I eat too.
It tastes like
I get a bunch of sugar in me, and I can feel it happening, and then I just use willpower to control it a little bit, how I behave. But it's pretty brutal. It really, truly is.
You're clear high. Clear high.
Oh, look at that wall strike up ahead of them. People are starting to run into big trouble with their tires.
Outside.
I wonder if Ronnie has damage. Yeah, he took a scrape. I don't see that it's deformed the car, but when they changed the modeling, the damage modeling, they show you varying forms and degree of physical damage to the car, and it's oftentimes misleading.
The leader is hitting now.
Wow, there's a mess going on behind him. Yeah, it's he doesn't mean to take it out of you. I wouldn't take it personal.
Is there a minimum speed?
All clear, all clear.
The thing is, when I know people are uncomfortable and they're kind of lashing out at me.
Nope.
I don't take it personal, because they're not lashing out at me because they, don't like me or any of that type of stuff. They're just grouchy, and it's them, not you, kind of thing. So I basically ignore that. So if we've emerged in the top 10, we should be much higher than that. I think Gary did a good fuel strategy here. I really do. Hello, David Stryker. Yeah, that was a super long stream. It wasn't my record. I think I had 15, 16, 17 hours. I've streamed 18 hours before. That's my actual record, but that was insanely long.
Sorry, Mark.
But I'm kind of glad I did it. I'm hoping I'm tired enough tonight. I've only slept for about an hour today. Maybe 2. And I have work to do, so I'm probably going to end stream after the race.
Inside.
So I actually have work to do. There's something that's actually due tomorrow morning. It wouldn't otherwise be due tomorrow morning, except I have a doctor's appointment in the late morning. So I can't just stay home and saddle up to the computer and start working. I actually have to have this stuff over with tonight, including the billing for it, because we're going to have the 1st of February coming up, so I got to get that billing out.
Stay high.
The money race Thursday. Just got to give me a half a day's notice on it if you decide to, or as long as possible, long a notice as you possibly can do, because that way I can pencil you in. I should have a pretty normal sleep schedule after tomorrow. I don't think tomorrow's doctor's appointment's very involved. It's just a quick checkup. I'm probably going to be in there for 15 minutes. There'll be 45 minutes on site, just because you know how it is. You get to the doctor's office, you wait for a little bit, they walk you in, you wait a little more, the doctor comes and talks to you.
Still there? Hold your line.
And, oh my god, FEG.
Clear low, clear low.
That, ugh. That guy is so sleazy. Ooh, Here, keeping an eye on that blinker, Gary. I think it was Nick. Was it in front of... Well, Adam can't talk, but I think it was Nick in front of...
Mark, you went leading this thing right now?
Yeah, any tips on how to save 25 laps of fuel with less than a lap left?
I love my overlay. It's, you know, there's 16 to go. He's got 19 and a half laps of fuel. It's just so nice not to be paranoid about missing a number or miscalculating. So, yeah, this is good stuff. I wrote this software mainly for spotting and crew chiefing. However, I'm finding it really useful for stuff like this. It's giving me a way to test my overlay technology.
The leader is pitting now.
And that's working real good. So it's going to be a broadcast money race on Ghost Network. I've never heard of Ghost Network, but you know, as long as you got a broadcast out there, you know, you can tell sponsors, you know what, this gets broadcast. It'll be permanent. Anybody who goes back and watches these historical races, they will forevermore get to see your company name and your branding on these cars and on this broadcast.
Where are you gonna be?
So, that's the part that bothers me is all these racers are racing for money, but what they're really doing is the only winner every week is a very seedy and shady guy. And on top of making money off the racers, then if it starts to really get popular, and it's attracting big names like Garrett Maines, there's a Coke driver in it. And then that's going to bring in advertisers potentially for the actual broadcast, paying X number of dollars per race to be the sponsor of the race or to have their logo shown in the broadcast or whatever and whatnot. So I'm just thinking all those drivers are putting money into this and only so few are winning money, but every week he's walking away with these fistfuls of money, and that kind of sticks in my craw a little bit. But I'm going to make money another way. I'm actually going to build a digital product. It's going to be an overlay. A simple version of it will be free. More complicated versions will be in you know, the pay level tiers. And I'm hoping to make a little bit of money off of a lot of different drivers and have that add up. If this takes off like wildfire, I'll dial back my consulting work and, you know, devote full time into developing, you know, additional features for the overlay that people can use and enjoy. But at the end of the day, man, I feel if you're going to make money, you got to be giving something, you know? And I just don't think the FEG product is very good.
Got one outside.
The drivers like each other, you know, it's a nice platform for them. For you and all the usual suspects, everybody's racing, but he's profiting off of that. That's just kind of bothersome.
Your road is closed. Catch the 24 car.
We should be at about a half a tank here, shouldn't we, chat? Let's go take a look.
That kind of was counterintuitive.
That was a racing deal.
Yeah, Gary, we'll just go full tank for balance, right? Do you want any pit adjustments?
I'm not so sure about that. I mean, if you want...
Oh, it's fixed with this setup, isn't it?
A little bit.
It's not open. Right, okay.
I mean, you missed the bottom. I had nowhere to go.
I gotta tell you, man, you're 83, 84 your last time down pit road. Your tire wears are right on the money. The tire pressures aren't, but that's what's keeping you in balance, I suppose. So...
But yes, my apologies on that.
I got Gary going in on lap 54. Adam went in on 56. But you can't help how you feel, Mrs. Reaper. It's okay to be moody. You're pregnant. You know, that's gonna
Mark, you got fresh tires.
make things different.
Are you paying us, Mark?
Yes, if you're the highest finisher with 0x.
And you expect a certain kind of decorum in the way that other people treat you. So, but also you have to balance that expectation about how you want people to treat you with tolerance for a situation that a certain individual, not necessarily just Brian, but anybody else, right? You don't know what's going on with them, right? So it's never right to be treated unfairly. You know, nobody wants that, but at the same time, a measured response will keep things from unnecessarily escalating. I'm gonna look at something here.
Sorry, Devin. I don't know why I had me pass you.
I think taking 2 is suicide.
Presley, did you take 2?
As loose as these tires are going to be with just 2.
We're running a semi truck out here.
Clearly, Gary's given me the better picture, Bailey.
90-90 on your rights. Good job, Gary. That's just driving it. 90-91 lefts. Holy cow. You really hit with this setup, you know that?
Let the 41 car by.
I'm going to do something, chat. Give me a second. Yeah. You used to be able to do that. You can't do it now. Alright, we're back.
Are the marks staying out?
I pitted like under green 5 laps
All
for
right,
the
man, we're
caution.
going green next time by.
That's funny. I feel like a bitch. I want my hubby.
I just want to stop funny. I know.
Yeah, he's there for you. You know, you gotta accommodate him sometimes. You know, let him sort it out. If he wants a little space, give him space. People can be weird about space, and the people that they want space from, in reality, are the last people they need space from. But they just want space in general, so that includes you. Yeah, fucking space, you want cuddles. I can't blame you, man. I'm serious, I can't blame you.
James, I'm used to baby blue, not red and black. What's going on?
You just have to look at the other side of my car.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, Striker, is Daniel Eberhard's thing still going? Does he still do races? Because I felt he put on a pretty good show for people. You know, I think if he markets it right and lets the drivers do their thing, and he keeps paying out 93%. He just keeps a little tiny bit. You know, there's overhead and organizing it. And I think Daniel Eberhard is more fair about it. He's definitely a man of more upstanding character.
Pace cars in.
Anyway, we're going to go ahead and watch this race. We're going here.
Clear black, please. I didn't even get to the restart zone.
Oh, man, Gary, stay low. Okay, stay low. That's 4. Now just 3.
Hold your line.
Way to make it stick. Now you're 4 again. Come out real low. Still 4.
Get in a little hot there, Brandon?
Yeah, don't let him do that dumb shit. Still 4. Nicely done. Just 3 now.
Hold your line. Outside. You're too wide there.
Yep.
Stay low.
1 at the wall on your exit.
Still there. Hold your line.
I was 3 middle there, slight ahead, brought in my outside.
Stay low. There's a car on the high side.
You're still coming.
Nah, the O1 ran out of talent. That's on me.
Stay low.
They have organized a freight train. And this frustrates Gary when this happens.
You're clear high. Clear high. Outside. Still there.
You're okay with this line. Try to fashion a way to come out of the
Stay low.
3rd curve on the high side, though.
Still there.
Wow, this racing is so freaking good. This track is amazing.
Stay low. All clear. All clear.
There we go. Now we can get back in at the wall.
Come on, Matt.
Sometimes it works 4X.
So if things settle down here, which they should, I might be able to get more work done. I'll tell you, just knowing how much work is this race with the cautions and chatting with Chad, I'm going to probably have to stop the stream and focus on work here in a minute.
Outside. All clear. All clear. You got 1 inside.
Oh man, Shield House took you on the inside here. It's
Stay high. All clear. All clear. Inside.
he's giving Shield House a little room here,
Car on the low side. All clear.
which is smart, you know.
Caution is out. Caution is out. Line up single file. Pit road is closed.
All right, well the plot thickens.
Cannon, outside.
Sorry, Chase. My spotter said Nick clear by 2, and I heard clear, and honestly, like it was not even close. So not that good day.
I think I might be able to do it. What do we need?
You have your spotter on tonight?
It was my fuck up.
Does he want in?
My spotter's the best.
Robbie, how bad is my right front here?
Or do you want me to relay a message to him? Okay.
I don't see any damage on it actually.
So far, thank you.
All right, I have a couple of Discord messages while all that was going on. There's the FEG post. Now see, this is more like it. Look how he did this.
Didn't know where the wreck was. I was just
This banner, instead of a chick, with just enough of a V to cover the nipples. You know, it's a, you know, looks like a fan going, you know, whatever. It's classier.
All right, thank you.
Pit road is now open.
Got a problem there, Matt?
Maybe he's turning over a new leaf. Oh my goodness, look at Yopa's latest work.
Yeah, I got a big problem with people just fucking.
Wow. How does he do it? Art is hard. I wish I could do what he does. I wish you guys could have seen my facial expression right there too. I have the camera off.
I was beside you. I never touched
Just because I'm leaning over a work computer, you'd be seeing mostly the top of my head. It's no use having the camera up right now. I'll put it back later, but... Yopa, that looks fantastic, man.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Matt. LOL, chat disabled.
In case he's not in channel, I'll type that to him too. All right, so let's see what we got going on in the race. And well, let me look in chat too. I'll catch up with chat. We're talking about a guy who advertises money races.
Number 10, there is a car that needs to go by you.
And he always puts
Stop texting and driving that vehicle.
this
Thank you.
a female in a seductive. I know sex sells, especially to a gentleman of a certain humor, shall we say? But yeah, if you're going to advertise events and there's going to be younger kids, there's going to be male, there's going to be female, I think it's denigrating to females. We've talked about this before, Mrs. Reaper. I think it objectifies women to show them in an exaggeratedly sexy and seductive way. When it's obvious it's not a shot where this just shows a woman with all of her natural beauty, but rather something that is just a little too suggestive, you know?
All right, man,
To advertise a race is, you know, I think it's more appropriate to advertise a race based on its merits. Car track combo, how much it costs to enter, what's the payout, maybe have a link to a website. Yeah, kids see that, but it's not total nudity or anything like that, and kids see worse online, quite frankly. But
How you're feeling in this
it still shows where his mind is at, you know? Something like that shows where his mind is at. And,
silence and not everyone yelling at each other for one last time before we get a green here.
you know, you can be who you want to be behind closed doors, and you can be who you want to be in public. But there is a certain expectation there, you know. There's you want to maintain some decorum.
We deem inappropriate, we will mute your chat. So
Yeah, that's really not appropriate.
just watch yourself.
And it has nothing to do with racing either. It's just sex appeal, you know. It's trying to get guys to look, and if guys look at the hot chick, then they'll drop their money and go, "Holy cow, man! Maybe she'll hand me the trophy if I win. Here's my money." It's kind of sickening. Unfortunately, it works. That's why you have hot tub streamers on Twitch with 30,000 viewers, have zero quality of content. It's just all sex appeal, and it's just all lonely ass people that can't get a date. So they watch somebody pretending to be their friend on stream, but as soon as they turn the camera off in the stream, they go and take a shower and laugh all the way to the bank because your dumbass gave them money.
Get ready.
Why would it's not naked though? Don't get the wrong impression.
Leader's going early.
It's just suggestive. Probably a good way to characterize it. All right.
8 cars in. Green, green, green.
This is for all the marbles. I'll just go ahead and let Gary concentrate. So that guy shouldn't have come up the line like that. Oh! He's going to go around. Yellow's out. Yellow's going to come out. You have to.
Clear black flag, clear black flag.
How did that not cause a caution? He just went careening into the crowd back there.
Still there?
So I've got it muted. They can't hear me on Discord. But there's Gary in the 13 car, the yellow 13 on the roof. He's easy to spot because that color stands out.
Still there.
You're clear right here, go.
I like the choice of yellow. Yellow and green are a good color combo.
Brake pedals on the left,
Stay
bud.
high. There's the car on the low side. Clear low, clear low.
Man, they're 3 wide up ahead, chat, and that's for 4th place. The podium drivers are just going to drive away from all this. Oh, he gave him a little bumper. Gave him a little bumper.
Good God.
Wow.
2 left, go.
Ah, this is good stuff, man. I love how this track races.
You got one inside.
Oh, he turned him. He turned him.
Stay high. There's the car on the low
Colin just dumped him.
Stay high. There's the car on the low side.
Wow.
Clear low, clear low.
Oh, Gary's... Oh, he turned him again. We're going to have to take a closer look at this. Oh, God, chat. Oh, my God. What's Blake Reynolds doing here? He's spotting for somebody. Who is Blake Reynolds spot for? I'm looking through the list here. You guys can see that probably underneath things a little bit. Probably trickier. Bigford's got a crew of 2 out there.
All right, man. It's white flag this time by.
Oh my goodness, these folks. How is he? Is he in here as a spectator? He's on all teams. He has to be a spotter.
Keep going, keep going.
Stay high. Clear low, clear low.
Connor Berry spotter? Wow, Blake Reynolds spots for Connor Berry? That's sweet. I didn't know these two had a, connection. Connor Berry is a jumpy truck, short course champion driver. Connor Berry is a super, super cool kid. Oh, God, his ping is 533. Connor Berry does blink. I've seen that in some of his races. Anyway, we're coming to the checkered flag, and Gary has a very respectable top 5 finish coming here when these guys all wreck each other. I'm not sure that's what's going to happen. We're watching. That's it. All right. We'll go back and look at some stuff here briefly.
Great job, driver.
Yeah, good finish, you guys. Everybody. 2 of you on the podium, right? So, well done. Wow, you guys. There's Gary's sack.
Right side of that thing on the last lap.
Oh, Blake's an admin in there. I have noticed Blake racing in dirt road before, but...
Good job, Gordon.
So, hello, PE coach. How you doing? This was an interesting race. I want to go back and look at what Colin Fern did. At this guy. So Gary's just kind of circling around. At the moment, I'm listening to their Discord, but they're not addressing me. I'm just kind of the team crew chief, so to speak.
Can we get updated points?
Colin Fern's 86. Man, in those last laps, he was an absolute weapon.
The race is over.
Let's go watch. We'll go forward 1 lap, and then we'll back that up.
2.
Let's watch Colin Fern here in the red and white vehicle. It's a Chevy Camaro. And, Colin Fern is a very, very, very good driver. But he takes chances, so his decision-making is a little bit questionable at times. As far as his physical skills, he is, he can handle the wheel, the pedals. And he's a big fan of the Donkey Report. Anybody who likes the Donkey Report's okay by me. Oh, Blake didn't do anything. Blake made some comments in chat, and I didn't know he's not a driver in this league. And for him to talk on all teams means he's somebody's spotter, and I didn't know that he was spotting for people. So the 24's got a little bit of a beef with the 86 at this point. You can see that. That 24 kind of pinched him down, and then he comes up to try to side draft and absolutely dumps Connor Berry. CBR is Connor Berry Racing. He has pretty much the same paint scheme on his truck. That's he just kind of got turned, and he's just trying to side draft from the left side of the car, which doesn't work, but people do it anyways because they think it does. And he goes up there and he goes up a little too much. It's pure. He's not trying to dump Connor Berry. He just goes up way too aggressively trying to get that side draft and just dumped Connor Berry. Flat dumped him. But he's not done. He dumped somebody else up here too. Let's go see. He stays off Gary. Gary knows he's down there and gives him space. Gary comes loose off the wall, checks him up, and that actually, Gary technically started a sequence here. We got to watch it. Let's 55 cars got a good view of it. You always want to spot from a different car's perspective when you're analyzing a wreck, because there's optical illusions that take place when you look at the actual car. So we'll look at Ronnie Osmer, and we're watching this white and red car here, Colin Fern. So Gary squiggles Oh, he just got loose. It isn't, and it's, yeah, it's it's Colin Fern's fault. Everybody gets loose through here, and Colin, he just turns right back. It's the same thing. He just goes up there and he tagged out again. They should give him a suspension for that, actually. That's 2 cars he wrecked out. Who did he get? That's Presley Sora. Wow. He went right up there to get him. Presley gave him room. The thing to look at is this seam right here. It gives you a nice point of reference. And he's clearly coming up. And even if Sora was out of the way, he was going to hit the next car up, which was Reed Wilson. I mean, he's just out here being a wrecking ball. Jesus Christ. Let's watch and see if he hits anybody else, too, because he's going to go up there and throw a block. That's just dirty-ass racing. And good on the 26 to door him off. That's Ryan Vargas. Good for Ryan. Ryan's not playing games with his dumb ass. And Ryan knew he was about to get sent, so he lifted and went high and let him pass because he knew he was going to get wrecked. That's just Ryan Vargas knowing who he's racing with. And that was the checkered flag there. So and Corey Heim, you know, he's freaking just flat out awesome. So yeah, we'll watch Corey Heim win this thing. Yeah, TB3 might be too far out. Oh, God, look at that. Look what he did to these people. That's Colin Fern's handiwork you see smoking in the infield. Let me come get caught up with chat here a minute. Hacking. Go ahead and fire away with the question about hacking. Not my area of expertise. I hate to cheat. I've cheated once in a video game ever. I'll tell you the story in a minute. After I get caught up with chat. So, Xfinity cars at Bristol. Dude, how many laps? Because Bristol is... can you still feel your arms, Gary? You know, I'm half tempted to piss you off on purpose because you're adorable when you're pissed, too. I know it. I'm evil. Golly, folks. I hate it that I got all this work to do. I wanted to do this work over the weekend, but the person I was waiting on for something is in a bad place in life right now. This person is dealing with a husband that's fighting for his life. He's in rehab right now, but, you know, he's got a series of medical things that had kind of happened to him over the past year or so, and she's heavily overloaded at her work. And I mean, when I say heavily overloaded, doing her own job, she's doing the work of 2.5 people and always has. That's normal. But other people's workloads are being dumped on top of her as people leave the organization and replacements aren't hired, just stuff like that. And so I could tell trying to proceed with my work, which is fashioned to help her, you know, it's going to put her ahead of the game. That's why it's got to be done Monday morning. If she comes in Monday morning and what I'm doing for her is done, it's going to be heaven sent. And so I have to sacrifice some streaming to get that work done. That's why I'm not going to stream until 2 in the morning like usual. I'm going to be working until 2 in the morning, and then I have to promptly get to sleep because, like I said, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, which is just dumb luck. It's an appointment that's 6 months old. So let's catch up on PE coach here, man. 84 schools and 48,000 students. That's a huge district. Holy cow. How long does it take to reverse at the school? I'll tell you what, I'm an IT guy. I don't do IT as much as I used to PE coach. But the customers that I service at the moment, a lot of their resources are web-based, and I can have them back up and running within 3 hours. For their IT infrastructure on their network, what happened is somebody with network access got hacked, and they ran something, they probably fell for the old trick. Hey, if you want to, they'll send you an email saying, your FedEx order, we were unable to deliver. Click this zip file to see the delivery report and to get your package. And then they cleverly write it, or they might say, your invoice is attached, and somebody may have made a web order that morning somewhere, somehow. Just by chance, go, oh, that's my invoice. Here, let me double click this zip file. Bam, you're hit. You're infected with that virus. And what it does is it goes through and it encrypts every file it can see, including network files. And I always protect my customers for it by having triple backups. 3 physical backups, plus sometimes cloud and online backups as well. So I can restore those files for my customers because of the way I handle the backups. I'd say 6 to 8 hours of work restoring files and reconnecting people to it. I know I had a customer not too long ago, they had a file server crash with 100% loss of data. And it was because they lost power at their facility and then didn't notify me. And after a while, the battery backup will die, and then their server shut down, and it just did crash the server. I don't know why. It shouldn't have done that, but it did. Yep. 14,000 printers had a print job put on it. Now, you don't need to send it to me. It's not like I can say, hey, I got a tool that'll fix that. I can just tell you that whatever that school district, as big as it is, whoever does their IT, that's who's on the hook for this. They should have had a backup system in place. And when I say backup system, I mean a disaster recovery plan that says, hey, if this server is destroyed and there's 100% loss of data, we have to have a means of being operational within 24 hours. But problems happen, and sometimes the problems can be really big. If you Google search it, you'll see where Google had their Gmail, and I don't think it was hacked, but I'm going to say 2/3, maybe 80%, 60, 80% of Google Gmail customers lost 100% of their email. And a lot of times you pay that ransom, they still don't fix your shit. They just take the money, you pay by Bitcoin. It's not like you can take them to court for, not fixing the network. They're effed. Your school district is absolutely effed. And they definitely should not pay the ransom. First of all, I wouldn't have 14,000 printers after a hack like this. People can't use the resources anyways. The resource would be shut down so that the hackers can't reach it anymore. And they're going to need a consultant to come in there. And obviously this is over the head of the people that you have on staff doing the IT. Because otherwise they'd be telling you, okay, this is going to be 48 hours. We'll have everybody back online. But that's what it's like also when you run Windows systems, to be honest. I'm almost positive none of the Macs were affected if they have any Macs. You know, so yeah. I mean, this just also goes to show, I can tell you one thing. I have this type of background where I used to go and I'd take viruses off people's computers, or if that wasn't possible, I would reformat the computers completely and put fresh Windows on it, help them reinstall their programs, and it'd be a couple days work. At least one day's work. I mean, it would cost people anywhere from, $800 to $1,600 for me to come and take care of it for one person. But you're talking about 14,000 printers, X thousand desktop computers, all their files. There's no easy fix here. The best thing you could probably do is your own iPad with cellular data, and just do your own email and do whatever computing you need to do that way offline. I would not trust that network from here on out. I wouldn't put it on the school's Wi-Fi, I'll tell you that. So go forget this network quick as you can. If any of your devices, phones or whatever, use the school system's Wi-Fi, because you don't know what's out there. So they put all this work on a shared drive and then don't back it up. First of all, I'd pop in a thumb drive periodically and copy my work. Yes, the files can be on a shared drive, but me personally, just knowing how things are, I'd stick a thumb drive in it. Some networks, it doesn't sound like your network administrator's kind of up on all this. They got hacked by something. This shit's been around for so long. Ransomware. They call it ransomware. And they encrypt all your files and they hold them for ransom. Yeah, Stryker, I know that you know why you're shaking your head, Stryker. The same reason I am. The same reason I do all of my productivity work on a Mac. Literally all of my productivity work is done from a Mac. I even remote into my customers' Windows computers from my Mac. It's I guarantee you somebody out there knows what happened. Somebody out there had a little thing. They probably needed somebody probably said, well, here's one you can relate to. What if you got an email saying, well, you were homesick. Here's my son's track meet finish. Watch this. Must watch. They send you a zip file. They'll do all kinds of things to social engineer you, especially if it's targeted. You'll go to unload it and it'll say, you need to update your Adobe Flash Player to watch this in your browser, is a common one that they used to do. And then, oh, okay, here, let me install this. And then, bam, you're hit. They tricked them into running an executable on the web, or they maybe did a drive-by. There's so many ways they can get you. At the end of the day, when I've been in IT management, and I've been on the technical side of it, I've been on the management side of it in my lifetime, and different previous versions of myself. And for me personally, I have 3 separate offline backups. It doesn't do you any good to have an external hard drive attached to your computer that does a backup, such as Apple's Time Machine. I have 2 different Time Machine disks, and then my individual files are also backed up on other media. You always want to run your backup and detach the media, because these viruses that encrypt all your files are, as long as it's attached to that computer, they're aware of those files. They'll encrypt those too. And so that leaves you in a lurch if something happens. Now, in my case, I have an iMac. I absolutely love this thing. But I also have a MacBook Pro. And the MacBook Pro, I really don't use anymore. I used to kind of sit down in a coffee shop. COVID, forget about that. Or I might even just sit down at Culver's, flip open the lid, get a little work done, hang out for a couple hours. But with Time Machine, it's a kind of a trivial thing to backup and restore between the Apple computers. And also a lot of my work too, if it happens to be software development work, it's in GitHub. I just do git pull and bam, the other computer's instantly up to date. Hey, Agent Smith, how you doing, my man? Thank you for raiding in. Appreciate it. We're on the tail end of Monday Night Racing. The race has ended, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but you came at a bad time. But that's cool. We're having a little conversation now about the PE coach. He's a physical education professional. He's a professional teacher. He's a professional educator. And his school district got hammered with a virus. And because I have a background in IT, he's bouncing some ideas off of me. Cyber threat takes down Tucson Unified School District's internet network. That's an interesting headline because it's really not their internet network that they quote unquote took down. So they're looking into it as a cyber attack. I really don't know if somebody came from the outside to do this. It's probably just somebody on this side of the network. You know, somebody behind the wire, you know, ran a Trojan horse. It usually comes in the form of, you know, hey, to watch this video, you need to update your browser's Flash player. Or it just did something. Somebody somewhere knows they were the oops. So, yeah, short article. I see what kind of happened here. The news outlets got wind of it. They asked the superintendent what's going on. He gave them the boilerplate answer. We're investigating. The network's down while we investigate. And it's good that they made law enforcement aware of the issue, because this is huge, and there's a good chance the FBI is already investigating, because this wasn't targeted. They hit anybody and everybody. The other thing too that says, yeah, internet might have made more sense in the article. It just so happens that somebody in your organization, you know, they clicked a link they shouldn't have clicked. The rest is history. You're just toast. You're just toast at that point. Yeah, that's definitely true. What I would call a security appliance, something like Cisco Meraki. Some of my bigger customers I got behind Cisco Meraki. And honestly, I haven't had... One of my customers had an encryption issue where he had gotten online in the morning. He had paid for some software from someone. Ooh, sorry, I don't know if you guys heard that or not, but he's bashing the microphone. And I think that they... it was Ford Motor Company licenses a piece of software that runs in their computer, and then that computer interfaces to the computers and nodes on the fire trucks that they serviced. They did big diesel, semi-trucks, fire trucks, ambulances, and a lot of those are Ford Motor Company stuff. So they paid for some software. I could be wrong on this, but just envision this. It's similar. It's either Ford or something very similar to it. But Ford doesn't sell it directly. They sell it through a reseller. So they went to some, you know, AcmeEngineTuning.com or whatever, wherever they go to pay for this crap. And they paid for it in the morning. A couple hours later, they even told him on the phone, you're going to get an invoice from us. You're going to receive it by email. So a couple hours later, they get an invoice, and the email says, your invoice is attached. That's all it said. And there's a zip file there. And he double-clicked it, and it went out and encrypted every file on his computer, and his computer had map network drives, so all of those got encrypted also with ransomware. So, and then they said, hey, you know what? If you pay us $1,000 or $987.12, it was some weird oddball number. They said, here's how you do it. You go and you get a green dot card so that it's an untraceable payment. Add the money to the green dot card, and then you tell us the green dot card credentials so that they could take the money off the green dot card untrackably. So somebody didn't get a good computer science grade. For sure somebody failed here, Striker. Somebody gets a big F. That's a big black eye for your IT department when you get hacked like that. But going on with my story, he called me up and said, we can't get at any of our files on the file server. All the files are gone, and they've been replaced with mydocument.doc.zip or something. There was some extension that it adds to all the files. And they said, if you pay us, we'll send you a little program you can run to fix the problem. Well, instead of paying them to fix the problem, they paid me about as much money to come in and fix the problem. And I had it fixed in a matter of hours, however long it took to recopy the files back, because they're on offline backups as well. They have a combination of offline and offsite backups. I set all my customers up with both types of backups. So, yeah, by the time I got in there, let's say noon, by 3 or 4 o'clock that afternoon, I had them back to normal. But obviously, that's one customer running a shop and not an entire school district. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, PE coach. It's just you're just going to have to be without your files and then invest in a thumb drive, so you have your own offline backup that you take home. In some places, you have to check with the school district. Some places don't allow you to do that. They don't. Yeah, they just don't allow you to do it. So, Agent Smith, thank you for the raid. I appreciate that. I know you're a guy that I follow. It's unfortunate that I'm normally a reliable person to raid at this hour because I usually stream until, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, noon the next day. That's not going to be the case today, unfortunately. I have a work project that I had scheduled to do over the weekend for a customer, but there was some critical information that I needed in order to do it over the weekend, and I couldn't because I just couldn't get where I needed to be on that with the person involved. And I didn't want to press the issue either because that particular individual is dealing with a dying husband who is hopefully not dying. He's in rehab now. I'm praying for his recovery, but it's hell what he's been through. I really can't talk about exactly what that is, but it's nice that he's on the mend, but it's still very stressful for all the people involved, for the family involved. All right, so if you have stuff saved on your Windows 365 account, I would log into that from home and copy it off forthwith. But you'd also better be careful because if your computer at the school also has access to your what we call Microsoft Office account, Windows 365 as it's now called, they keep that product has been renamed about 5 times in the past 3 years. Windows just can't figure out who they want to copy. So they keep rechanging their names and stuff. Meanwhile, Apple's still iCloud. But they went through their own thing. It was Mac.me and then Mac.iMac, or I don't know. They had 50 different names for their stuff too. Just pick a name, stick with it, and go from there. Yeah, I'd be scared of anything that your school account had access to, because those files could now be infected, and if you put them on your computer at home, that could now be infected. Or could get infected. So, at this stage of the game, I wouldn't trust anything off the school network, just out of abundance of caution. So, let's do something here a minute. Mac.me, then iCloud, and then email names. That is actually true. It never changed to the point where the devices quit working with it. I love the Apple ecosystem. It's extremely expensive, but Apple knows what they got. They got something nobody else has, and that's a reliable cloud network. Even Google can't claim that. Like I said, 50, 60, 70, 80% of customers lost 100% of their Gmail accounts at one point. I do have one customer with a Mac.com email address that his archives are completely missing. Every time he clicks to archive, the email's just gone. It's not in deleted. It's not in his archives. Yeah, I just don't know what to do about it. It's like, that's on their end. Even when we log in through the web interface, the email is just not on Apple servers. So there's kind of something weird there. Yep, backups of backups of backups of backups, just like Stryker points out. I even have 2 gaming computers. In case one goes down, I can get right back at it. You know, I fix the other. So what I am actually going to do is ship you guys off. I'm going to figure out somebody to raid here. I don't know if I'll be back tonight. I doubt it. I think when I finish this work, I have this freaking doctor's appointment in the morning. I still have to use the little online portal to quote-unquote pre-register. So when I get there, I don't have to do a bunch of paperwork. And, Podium, what do you got going on here? They're kind of talking about the race. So let's put this down for you guys. We'll raid Podium Esports, because what they're actually doing is they're talking about the race that we just watched. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, it's called Front Stretch. It's an independent thing. I think now's a good time to raid them. They're interviewing. I think that... Who is that? Oh. Is that Chase Cabri? Maybe? But yeah. Anyway, you guys, I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out tonight. I'm sorry to cut the stream short. I really wanted to play some World of Warships after this, but I just didn't get... I needed... You know, I streamed way too long overnight. But, yeah, no is right. I might be back. If I can get my work done in the next hour, I'll come back at 12:30, and I'll stream for a couple more hours. But if the work I'm doing right now goes overnight until midnight or, well, I should say, yeah, past 1 in the morning, I won't be back. But I do have to hop off. I have to focus on what I'm doing. And you guys have a great night if I don't see you till tomorrow night. Otherwise, I might see you maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours from now. We'll be back around 12:30, if I can. So, take care, everybody. You guys all have a good night.
Sunday